Hi everyone, Alchemist here. Today is a past life reincarnation reading. It's a past life reincarnation, it's a past life session. And I'm going to invite you to pick either the Thoth deck or the Hermetic Tarot deck. And based on whichever deck you pick, I'm going to tell you what kind of past life did you have. And this is a message that's going to be channeled from spirit, from your guardian demons, or from whichever entity that was with you in the past. So I'm going to open the portal and invoke the help of all spirits and entities in this reading. I hereby declare the portal open. So I'm going to start with the Hermetic Tarot deck. For those of you who picked the Hermetic Tarot deck, what were you in your past life? In your past life, your soul was from the underworld. You were against the deities. You were in war with the deities. You were a deity level yourself. I hear the message here is that you were a sort of demon or daimon, like, or demigod, like a demigod, like as in like one of your parents was human and the other was a demon. A demon as in like a supernatural deity, like we have for examples of that, like Hercules, who was like half human, half god. So you were like that, and you were very connected to the underworld, and you were, you knew how to navigate the underworld. You knew how to go there and come back and forth to this dimension of reality and the underworld where all of these demons and spirits come from, and many of them reside there still up to this day. And you were from there, and you were super powerful. I see that you were against the gods of ancient Egypt. So basically, the gods that were ruling the area of the Middle East, like Egypt and the Anunnaki and the Sumerian gods, Mesopotamian gods, you were kind of in clashing against them. You were against them. You were a different kind of deity, a deity that could have been either it came from the far east or from the west, or you could have just basically you didn't agree with certain ideologies that they had. And I see that you were a very strong warrior here at the bottom of the deck. You were a very strong warrior. You had wings. You were able to fly because you were a demigod. So you had wings. You were able to fly. And it's almost, this feels like a teleportation. Like you didn't fly like a bird, but you could fly at will. You could manifest at will. You could be in different places at the same time if you wanted to, because of these wings. These wings per se, they were not physical, but you could manifest them physically if you want to. If you wanted to, you could make these wings appear in front of other humans, and that scared the shit out of them. But most of the time you were choosing to hide your wings so you don't scare the other humans, or because the humans might either think you're a god or they might be scared of you and they're not even gonna they're gonna try to run away from you. And here, like a very strong connection to the underworld, very strong connection to the underworld, to the element of fire. You knew how to play with fire, how to literally play with fire, as in like you could basically create fire in your hands. You could use it as an element. You could shoot it from your hands. You could basically control it at will. You could basically, for example, put something on fire, put a building on fire if you want to, just from the energy work that you do with fire, because your soul is from there and you had that ability. This was in ancient times. This was, we're talking about what came to me here is 30,000 years ago. So 30,000 years ago. So the times of Atlantis, the times of ancient Egypt, the times of ancient Mesopotamia, these were times where actually the gods coexisted with humans on Earth. And if anything, Earth had mainly the gods. Humans were still not numerous around that time. Humans did exist, but not as much as now. If anything, at that time, around 30,000 years ago, there was more gods inhabiting Earth. So more of these supernatural beings. Well, to us, they seem like they're supernatural, but they're actually not. They're supernatural in comparison to humanity. They are supernatural. One more card, and then I'm going to move on to the Thothek. Just one more card to see what was really going on, or just to kind of... yeah, so basically, I see here that you had this crazy power and that was connecting you to the underworld. And here we got the King of Swords reversed. It's like in that lifetime you had this power, but you came back here as a human being, because that's kind of interesting. You're like, okay, well, I was so powerful and I had this much power, and I roamed on Earth for so long ago. So why am I back here? Why am I just like a mere human being? Why I don't have these powers? Why I'm only a psychic? I'm only a medium. I only can see spirits and shadows here and there. Why I'm not actually back as a god or something? This you had to, I see here this last card represents a dissension. Like there's ascension and there's a dissension. If that's a word, I'm not sure if that's a word, but the opposite of ascension. You kind of had to descend or come on Earth to guide other people. To guide other people, to show the truth with other people, and basically humans need to evolve. It's time for them to evolve. This is the time for Earth for the humanity on Earth to evolve and move on to the next stage of existence. And for that, there needs to be many souls that reincarnate as humans, not as gods, as humans, to be at the human level, and that's how you can infiltrate humanity and help them. Well, help them as in like, there's no attachment here. You don't need to, it's not like you have to love humans, or you have to live for humans or to love them, but you're here to guide them. You're here for a purpose. And that's why you kind of, you tone down your abilities. You tone down your soul in this reincarnation. You toned everything down, or everything was toned down for you in order to reincarnate as a human in this lifetime, so you can fulfill the purpose of guiding and helping other humans, because it's just something that needs to be done. It has nothing to do with loving humans or, it's just something that needs to be done. Gonna move on to the Thothek. What does the Thothek says about your past life? What were you? What did you exist as, and who were you in your past life? So, okay. Oh, this past life was, hold on. This past life here, yeah, this was a rough past life. This was rough. This was a very rough past life. It's kind of like the opposite of the Hermetic Tarot deck. So this was a past life where you had no peace, you had no happiness, you had no value, you had nothing of emotional value. Basically, anything that has to do with happiness, anything that has to do with joy, with value, with virtue, with content, with bliss, you didn't have it. The bottom of the deck, we have this card here that represents the Two of Swords, and here we're the Two of Swords reversed, which represents that basically the opposite of anything that was peaceful. So the opposite of anything that's peaceful, that's what you had. So a lot of problems, a lot of drama, a lot of unhappiness, you were never fulfilled emotionally. You had a very, very rough life. It was such a rough life. I want to clarify here, because this is not enough, because this life was very rough, and it was like it was a depressing, miserable life. Very depressing, very miserable. The vibe was very low throughout your whole life back then. But why is that? Why do we have this? Oh, interesting. Interesting. So here, you were so you were presented with some opportunities, but you were stubborn, and you didn't want to take them. You didn't want to take these opportunities, and you were presented like the universe sent your way certain people back then in that life, and you refused. You refused to take those opportunities. You didn't do the work. You were supposed to do research. You were supposed to work on yourself. You were supposed to do a lot of practices, occult practices, of course, and you were supposed to do a lot of things that would contribute in your happiness, in your joy, in building your future, in becoming who you truly are. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You refused all of these things that came your way. They were coming your way so many times. The universe was sending to you. We have here, that's how I see here anyway, the card, the star card. But anyway, what I'm hearing here, like someone screaming loud in my ears, that you did not take these opportunities. The universe wanted to open up to you. That's why the sun card here is reversed. You didn't do the work you were supposed to do, the necessary work for that happiness to come, because for success, for happiness, for joy to come, there needs to be a certain fulfillment. And for that fulfillment to be there, you need to do the work. You need to practice your craft. You need to, whatever you love, you have to immerse yourself in it. You have to be in that kind of like, devote yourself to your purpose, to what you love, to what gives you joy. So life is not empty. Otherwise, life becomes like a void. It becomes empty. And the more empty you are, the more miserable you become, and that's how you become depressed. So these opportunities came to you and you refused. You were not in, you need it here. The bottom of the deck is the change card. Number 2, it says change. The 2, yeah, like the harmonious change that we need in our life, for that transformation to kick in. That's what you needed. And you were, I hear the word stubborn. You were so stubborn in that lifetime that you were very negative. You were immersing yourself in negativity, in comparing yourself with others, in thinking about why you don't have this, why you don't have that. You basically ignored everything the universe was sending you. You were ignoring it. It's like that story of someone who was worshiping God their whole life, and they were on a cliff, and they were about to die because the ocean was gonna come and take over that cliff, and then this guy who was devoting his whole life to God, he's like, there's a boat that came to save the people that were on that cliff. This is just an example. It's not part of your, this is, what I'm saying right now is not part of your past life or reincarnation. It's just a story to give you an idea of what I'm trying to say. So a boat came to save these people that were on the cliff because there was going to be a flood. The cliff is going to be flooded by water because there's a huge storm coming in. And everyone went on the boat except for this one guy who devoted his whole life to God. And he said, no, God is going to save me. I'm not going to go on the boat. I know God is going to save me. I know God is going to save me. I'm going to get a miracle. And that boat left. Of course, they didn't wait for the guy because they don't want to die. And then he kept praying. He's like, why God doesn't save me? Why God doesn't save me? Because I'm devoting my whole life to God. The guy prays every day, prays all the time. And then another boat passed by. Another boat, the second boat, another boat passed by. And they asked him, hey, do you want to come in? Because the storm is coming, and if you stay here, you're going to die. And he still refused. He's like, no, I'm praying to God, and God is going to save me directly. He's going to send a miracle to me, and he's going to save me directly. And then the boat left. And then few hours later, he kept praying. And then another boat came, a third boat. And he still persistently didn't want to go on that boat. He's like, no, I'm not going on. God is going to save me directly. I've been praying to God, and God is going to come and save me. And then the third boat left. And 3 is the number of mastery, and things always are completed with 3 times. When you get things 3 times, it means you need to do them, because when they go over the third time, it means it's not going to happen again. Keep that in mind. This is from numerology. You always get 3 chances of everything. Anything that comes in life, you're going to get it in 3s. You're going to get always just 3 chances, not 4, not 5, not 2. You're going to get 3 chances. So after the third boat passes, that's it. The storm kicked in, and it took the cliff and the guy with it. It took everything with it, and the guy died. And the moral of the story is that we always want things a certain way. In this lifetime, you wanted life to be changing or coming to you in a certain way. You were so ignorant and so oblivious of the of all of these things that were sent to you by the universe, but to you that no, I don't want them in that kind of packaging. It's like a packaging. It's like, I want this packaging. Why don't I get what I want in this kind of packaging? Why do I have this pack? No, if it's in this package, I'm not gonna take it because this package color is brown. I want the package that's yellow. But inside, what you don't realize, that inside that package, either brown, yellow, or black, or blue, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, which is what you need, which is what you want. So this came to you so many times in that lifetime, and you were so stubborn, and you did not want to listen. You did not want to listen, and the chances passed away. The chances came to you. The help came to you many times, 3 times, as I mentioned in that story, and it means it's probably came in that lifetime 3 times as well. You didn't take it. You were stubborn, and you ended up your life living miserable and depressed your whole life because you refused to see that the universe was trying to help you. But to you, that was not the kind of help you were expecting. For you, it had to be a certain way. No, like that guy on the cliff, it had to be God coming in personally and taking me with his hands and transporting me in his own hands to land. Instead of him, he's sending you 3 ships to take you to land. So this is metaphorical, and that's why you came back in this lifetime, so you're not gonna make the same mistake. You came back in this lifetime to not repeat that same mistake from the previous life. And you have to be very careful here, because if you repeat the same mistake, then you're gonna end up having the same thing, misery and depression. So be very careful. One last card here just for this pile to see if there's any other more message to say here. Yeah, like here it's the same, like basically exactly what I was saying. If you keep the attitude of the same attitude that you had last life, in your previous life, you're going to end up the same in this lifetime. And this previous last life, you had it in a here. I'm trying to locate. I'm trying to see the location of where you had it. It was a very mysterious location. It was on Earth, but it was such a like I see here. Like it was in a forest. It was not in the East. It was somewhere in like Europe, or not Africa, not the East, somewhere in Europe, in a forest, in a very dense forest. I'm not sure which century here, but let me pick a card. I'm gonna tell you which century. The 4th century, so 4th century AD. 4th century AD in a very dense forest. The weather was cold, or it's cold weather. There's like a lot of snow, a lot of cold. You needed to get warm. 4th century AD in Europe. That's where you had this lifetime. That's when it happened. So your mission and your purpose in this lifetime is to not repeat the same mistake, hopefully, because the universe is sending you what you need right now. It is sending it to you. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Don't refuse these packages that are coming to you, because you might not like the package, but what's inside the package is what you need. It's exactly what's necessary for you, because it's gonna get you abundance, it's gonna get you success and happiness and joy and bliss, which is what you lacked in your previous life. So you came back in this lifetime to gain that happiness which you didn't have in your previous life. And you are lucky to be reincarnated here. Remember that. I even heard that directly from a dead spirit. All of us reincarnated here We are the lucky ones to be reincarnated, because not every soul gets to be reincarnated. It's a luxury and it's rare, and we should be happy with it and take full advantage of our reincarnations. So this is what I have for you guys. I hope this helped. Thank you very much. And again, thank you very much for your comments, for your subscriptions, for your likes. I don't get to always answer all of your comments, but I do go through them, I do read them, and I appreciate them. I appreciate sharing with me your stories and what you guys go through as well. Thank you. I hope this resonates, and I will see you in the next video. I'm going to close the portal so all the spirits that helped us in this reading can go back to where they came from. I hereby declare the portal closed.